Welcome back. We are continuing with back to school information for you and your family. Recently, I spoke with Johnny Betancourt all about individualized online tutoring. This field is changing to be able to help many more students in many areas. Here's more.
Your student stuck on a calculus, chemistry, or some other problem in the middle of the night. Well, today, thanks to a video tutorial service, students can get fast help 24/7 if they can plow through the clutter to find the right link that explains it all. Our next guest says it doesn't have to be that way. Joining us with advice to up that GPA and lower student frustration is ACE online tutor and entrepreneur Johnny Betancourt. He's a co-founder of a company that has helped more than 2 million students improve their learning outcomes through video tutoring. Now he's teamed up with the leading textbook publisher to bring books and video together in time for back to school. Johnny, thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Christine. Nice to be here.
So first, what made you start a tutoring company and how do you help students learn?
Yeah, so as a private tutor, I ran into these two insights about students. The first insight was that students are oftentimes so lost with the course material that when they come to private tutoring, they don't even know which questions to ask. They don't know where to begin. The second insight was that students are terrified of learning the wrong thing. They don't want to go to tutoring or watch a video and have it teach them things that are not related to their exam. So what me and my team did was we built a set of video tutorials that were textbook specific. So the video tutorials would teach all of the concepts from scratch, so a student could remediate that knowledge whenever they needed to, and they could make sure that it was relevant to their class by selecting the textbook they needed to study. So they select their textbook, watch the videos, and all that information would be pertinent to their exam.
And I understand you have key three learning tools that will help students be able to comprehend and retain information.
Yeah, so I would start obviously with video. I have a passion for building engaging videos in problem solving classes. And students more and more, especially with the pandemic, have turned towards video towards as a supplement for their learning. Secondly, we have textbooks, right? They've been around forever. And while students have other options now of how to study, there's still a lot of critical information in their textbook, and students should be paying attention to that. But thirdly, we have this suite of digital tools that are, a little bit newer. And I'm talking about things like online note taking, digital flashcards, interactive practice problems, audiobooks. These different digital tools can really help a student to solidify their knowledge. And actually, something I'm excited to share is that an app called Pearson Plus has combined all three of these different types of tools in one convenient place for students. And it's specific for over 1,500 e-textbooks. So if a student was, let's say, struggling in chapter 7 of general chemistry, they could find their textbook on Pearson Plus and have access to their e-textbook, but also have video tutorials and other helpful digital tools to help them really study and retain that information. And it's all available to students for the price of an average streaming service. And so that represents a huge breakthrough in affordability for students.
Oh, it absolutely does. And what advice do you have for a student that's really struggling on something?
So what I noticed, again, from my experience tutoring, the students that were the most successful in their exams tended to relate to the information they were being taught as a concept map or build a story out of everything so that one idea builds on another. The students that struggled the most related to the information from class as random pieces of information that were disconnected from each other. And for a student that's really struggling to build those concept maps, those mental maps for themselves, video tutorials can be so helpful. Watching another person kind of process the information and show you how to relate to it can be really, really helpful. So I encourage students to find the tools that they need so that the information makes sense to them as a story instead of just random pieces of information.
Any advice on how to improve study habits?
One thing I always check on with my students is their study environment. Similar to sleep, if you're trying to get a good night's sleep, you're encouraged to build an environment that's conducive for sleep. Well, study is just another good habit, and it requires building a conducive environment. That means having a place that you like to study, having designated times of the day where you're going to limit yourself from distractions, and having the tools that really you relate with and resonate with you the most. And if a student is able to build a solid routine and stick to it day after day, they're going to get a lot more out of their study sessions.
And where can we find more information?
Yep. So a lot more information can be found at channels.pearson.com.
Thank you so much, Johnny. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. Really appreciate all this great advice for students. I know that many can benefit from this. It's great to hear that it's becoming more accessible for many individuals. So thanks for your time.
Great to be here, Christine. Take care.